as part of the complete process of your training, you emphasize wellness and eating habits and proper, and something you developed over time as you transitioned out of your some of your Western habits into imitating some of what Shimabukuro Sensei would do. Could you mention some of the common foods and liquids that you used after training, or more specifically after Kyusho training as well? And also if there are parallels in Western diets that we might be able to utilize something, attainable.
And I have to say, I did eat some things that I didn't quite know what was in them. Mrs. Shimabukuro, an excellent cook, she passed away, but she made sure that all the students who wanted to stay afterwards were well fed. We normally finish training late at night, and the old habit would be to finish training, go into Kin Village, have a late night steak, which just turns into sludge in your stomach. It doesn't get digested, and you don't get up on time the next morning for morning formation. She made sure that we had a good evening meal, light enough. The Okinawans talk about nuchi mushu, only so much just before you begin to feel fullness. One that's not only a good eating habit, you never want to eat until you're too full, but it's also a good combat habit. If you eat while you're so full, the body is sluggish. You certainly don't react quickly. But generally clear soups, miso shiro especially, any kind of yakisoba. There were so many vegetables. I always remember the Goya. I always talk about the Goya. As bitter as it was, it became one of my favorites over there because you could cook it in different ways. You could have it, sliced cold. It could be stir-fried, mixed in with just about everything. I was surprised to find so much pork, but very lean pork on Okinawa. They eat much more pork than the Japanese. Of course, obviously there's rice, and then tamago, which is an egg, usually cooked on top of your soba. But plenty of fluids, green tea, water, green tea, water, green tea, water, constantly. Even the Okinawan candy, it's sugar cane based, so it's very, very good for you. And sometimes you just have sugar cane, you just cut off a piece and start chewing on it. I didn't realize how fibrous it was until I got to Okinawa. And so this was an education for somebody from New York. But everything they ate was with a purpose, and you could see where the wellness aspect had a direct effect on their abilities in the dojo, especially up close with my teacher.
Over the course of the years, you managed to sort of figure out solutions for yourself in regards to how to maintain your health and preserve some of those matters. And through the course of that process, you started with supplements, and then you ultimately found Pharmanex supplements, which were much more, I guess you would consider, clean in regards to where they came from. How did you stumble across them, and what was the value of that in regards to your health?
Actually, they stumbled across me. Initially, there was a retired Marine major, Air Force major named Bob Ackerman, who out of the blue, I think he pulled my name off of the retired officers list, and sent me a package of products. He lived in California, I lived in Virginia. I didn't know who Bob was. He says, "I'd like you to try these products. I think you'd like them. If you do, you owe me $dollars. If you don't, just send them back." So I said, give them a try. And there were personal care products and some nutrition products. The predecessor to Pharmanex, what we called IDN, Interior Design Nutritionals. They were designing the inside of your body. The personal care product would make you look better on the outside. And I figured I needed all the help that I could get. I'd left Okinawa and retired Marine now. So I tried the products and was really impressed. And so I joined the company, and about that same time, a few years later, one of the folks in the company decided that the company needed to put an emphasis on wellness. They simply started looking at the major trends out there. Who drives things in our economy? The baby boomers. Well, their big concern was health. This is just on the cusp of home fitness machines. Before you had to go to the YMCA when I was a kid and work out, there were no treadmills that you could buy. So all of that was being driven by the baby boomers. And I'm a little older than the baby boomers. I'm about a year out. 46 to 68 is the baby boom. I was born in 1945. But I considered myself, for training purposes, a baby boomer. And I wanted to maintain health and wellness because I knew I had a responsibility to teach karate. And there was nothing more unsightly than to see a senior black belt, 280 pounds, couldn't get out of a chair because he just hadn't made the right decisions. And I knew it was a personal responsibility. So I looked at other companies, I started researching products, and I started talking to this company, and they were making the push towards sponsoring U.S. Olympic movement, and eventually their products were accepted. Dietary supplements were accepted by the Olympic training centers, and that really got me excited. And I started paying even more attention to their research. Then the company started truly investing. They saw that, okay, this is a wave. Personal fitness, personal health, wellness. There's almost a moral responsibility for folks to keep themselves well. We talk about the medical care problem. Well, if we kept ourselves well, we wouldn't have these high medical costs. And to me, that was consistent with martial arts, because martial artists are self-made people. No one gives us a knife hand strike. We have to learn how to make that up. No one gives us our front kick. We have to actually train that ourselves. So we have a responsibility for our wellness. The products kept getting better and better, and I started sharing them with folks. Short Vignette, a Marine captain, knew that. I'd come back from the first Gulf War, and he had injured himself. He was on a medical profile. And he was one of those guys, he played football in college. But he was one of those guys, if he didn't work out almost every day, he just ballooned. Mm-hmm. Well, in the Marine Corps, we have a policy against ballooning. He was working in a high-profile job, and his boss came in one day and basically said, "You're starting to look like a laundry bag full of doorknobs."
It's quite a visual.
Very subtle. We need to actually move you to the basement. Well, here he was, hurting already from his leg injury, and this then went to zero, his mental state. So he suffered some depression. I happened to be teaching in Stafford. He happened to be walking past the dojo I was teaching in, on his way to get a pizza, which was really going to solve the problem, of course, of the doorknobs. So he happens to see me. We had been on an inspection team some years earlier, and I did not know he was in Monaco. He looks in, "Major Hayes." "Yeah." And shake hands, and he looks great, $1 million smile, and then he starts telling me. I asked him, "What are you up to? What are you doing?" Couldn't help but notice the doorknobs. So he told me what had happened to him. And he just went on and on. After about 5 minutes, I realized that he had gone into whining mode, and that was unusual for him. So I said, "Stop." I went over to a bag. I had some of the Forminex products. By then, I gave him a box of one of the products, which is called Life Pack. I said, "I would like you to use this. This is a gift from me to you. We haven't seen you in a while. Call me within 30 days. Tell me what you think." But I haven't finished whining. He said, "No, you're done." So 4 days later, he gives me a call. He says, "I want you to know I took those products, and I felt such a great benefit." Within a month, he was off medical profile. His weight had come down to where it was. His energy level was where it was. And just the fact that we were able to help him, again, validated my personal investment in the products. So I saw them from personal use as a means to stay well, to maintain some capability, but also as a means to help others. As I always say, if we teach you the serious side of karate, I'm convinced that much of what was once taught in Okinawan is no longer taught, for good reason or for no reason. But if we're going to teach the old way, we have to at least incorporate some wellness habits. And since most folks, many simply don't have the discipline or the desire to adhere to an Okinawan diet. I don't anymore. There are aspects of my diet that are Okinawan, but I don't wake up in the morning to a bowl of squid, where I used to have a bowl of Cheerios or Wheaties. But I can supplement, and the case has been made for supplements. And so we gladly offer that as part of our training. All of our seminars include a segment on wellness. And we think all warriors have a duty to eat well, especially those who teach warriors.